What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Road to the Show here on the YouTube channel, Circle City Gamer. I am going to be your host for the next 45 minutes to an hour or so. Circle City Gamer, welcome all. Sorry it started a little bit late. I wanted to see if I couldn't update the Road to the Show earlier, before I logged on here, not realizing that it needed to be updated until the last second, obviously. I'm such a good person. I'm such a good YouTuber. Yeah, I know. Essentially what's going to be happening here is I'm going to be playing 2, as I mentioned on my tweet. And again, if you do not know that, I am on Twitter at CircleCityGame01. So we will go ahead and start with the one that everybody is used to, and being Sean Spencer. He is on the Kansas City Royals, so we will start in the Major League level, and then we will move to a new player that we created last time around, and will be the main focus of our Road to the Show series when I get around to actually making videos and not just streaming all the time. That is coming soon. I just have to still figure out where I want my camera to be at the beginning of everything, and then we will go ahead and go through that. So until then, please be patient with me. I know I haven't been posting regular content lately, and I apologize. Just once again, I have found that streaming is a little bit better, or at least better in the terms of getting, just sitting down, popping in the game, and not having to worry about how this camera is going to show up, is my battery going to die, that type of thing, as often as what it would have underneath producing videos. But I'm getting that itch again, and that's well, the other thing too is I've been I can say now, because I finished all the players that I was to do. I had not a contract per se, but for the last month or so, I have been working with Crispus Attucks High School, and the head basketball coach over there, Chris Hawkins, and getting his players' highlight tapes done. So that had eaten into a lot of my quote-unquote free time. But now that I have all 6 of them done, I think they turned out really well. The kids seem to really like them, and that's all that I really was striving for, was, do the kids like this? And if so, hopefully that helps them going forward, because these kids were really a good group of guys to be able to announce for when I was broadcasting. So it's always fun to be able to give back to the community like that, as I'm in Triples Alley for a triple. But that was the reason why that was another quote-unquote reason why I had not been on here as often as I should have been, probably, but I'm back now. I'll still play over there on Twitch as well, because that is actually stuff that I really do like to do. So I'm seeing if I can't get in here and just watch the chat like I can. I don't think so. I'll pull that up here in a second. As that is hit right to the shortstop. So as we start playing a little bit of defense here, we will go. I gotta do with over there on Twitch. I'll play 3 or so series, and then switch off to the other player. Play 3 or so series with them. Then more than likely I'll call it a stream. Just depend. I do have work early in the morning. So yeah, that's probably how tonight is scheduled to go. To be honest with you, I'll probably be back. Oh, Jesus. Dog. I will probably be back on a stream type schedule here shortly. I just have to get to a stream schedule. That door opening that you heard was my dog, or my brother's dog, popping his nose in here going, "Hey, what you doing? We has rules in the house. You not allowed to close the door." So I follow rules. You do not. Okay, so we are working off of a 4-1 deficit here at the top of the 4th. And after that triple, it's a little dribbler to a double play. Awesome. Hi, Bubba. Did you get a drink? You get a drink? That's good. That's good for the Bubbas. Yeah. So, yeah. That is what I am doing at the moment. Just continuing to, well, hello to you too. Did I lose my string? No, it still says I'm live. That's it relatively well to left fielder, but he makes the catch. Nice skipping. Oh well. You can lay there. Oh crap. Crap. Sean, get on your horse. There you go, bud. Nice catch there. Keeps us into the game. And again, the reason why you see continue to dominate, I mean, Sean really has done that. Hitting .494. Now he's 1 for 3 today. But on the season, he's had it pretty good for, let's be honest, the Royals have not had a great season. And, of course, I strike out. So, 1 for 4 on the game today. I forgot to go to the bank. Okay. So, that could have gone a lot better for me. I wasn't paying attention. Had something in my pocket. And we lose the first game. That's alright, though. 1 for 4 with a punch out. Awesome. The one was a home or is a triple. So that's awesome. So I crack open the first Dr. Pepper today. As you saw, the last 4, he's 9 for. Come on. You see the Giants are having a down year, obviously, but Kansas City's in the middle of a big rebuild. That's going to help, as that's off the wall for a double. So once again, Sean Spencer able to make contact for extra base hits. And he starts out with a big double here in the top of the third. Let's see if the Royals can get something going. As Alex Gordon, I think, just got beamed. Yeah, he got beamed. I don't know if that was Alex or no, that was Walker. Alright, Salvi. Oh, crap. My bad, Salvi. Wasn't paying attention. Let's drive in this runner here, though. Drive in the runner, make up for our mistake. Misses on the first one.
Spencer brings in a batting line above the 450 mark. Do not sleep on his at-bats, folks. You want to talk about
fouls that one away. And now we're 0-2, looking to just put the ball in play. Up the middle, base hit, gonna drive in the run, and we are back to tie. Or we are tied. That's okay. I'll take that. And the manager wants me to steal the base. Says I got a good jump, but I'm going to be thrown out. So I thought I had a little bit of a late jump, but oh well. Excuse me. That's it. Well, not quite to triples alley, but dead center. And boom, boom, boom. Muffins. Yes, it has been a while, but I did not forget that Muffins is our home run call. And that is number 25 since Sean has been called up, giving Kansas City the 5-3 lead that you see right now. San Fran's looking to do something about that, though. And I think they just hit a 3-run bomb. Because I got a little bit late on it. Yep, 3-run bomb. Carl Crawford. Hunter Pence hits that relatively well as well. But I'm right there at the train tracks. Spencer's 3 for 3 today. After going 1 for 4, he should. Be honest. That one's fouled. I don't think that should have been. I don't think that should have been mission failed because I'm still technically on the mission. But whatever. Fouled that one away. Up the middle, base hit for number 4 on the day. So he's shown his little bit of power, and he's shown that he can just do what the job needs to be done. Steal minus, but I'm in there. I don't understand that. If that was a bad steal attempt, but I'm safe, isn't that a good steal then? I'm confuzzled. But at any rate, we now have runners on first and second, as I had a hold there for Salvi. Come on, Salvi.
Here's the catcher, Salvador Perez. He's working on a 1 for 3 thus far. This is his
Hit
out
well.
left center. Dickerson's on the move. He tracks it down and makes the play to record the second out.
And we advance 90, so Salvi,
Now with 2 men out.
while he flies out, gives Alex Gordon a chance for a ribby here.
As he's got a chance to tie this ball game up with that equalizing run just 9.
Alex Gordon, Danny Duffy, and Salvador Perez are some of the last Royals from that magical 2000, that 2-year stretch of 14 and 15, where they go to the World Series in back-to-back years. In 14, losing to the San Francisco Giants, and in 2015, winning it all and beating the New York Metropolitans in 5 games. And that was a good Mets squad too. They beat the Dodgers, then they beat my Cubbies, and then lost to my American League team, the Kansas City Royals. And I guess I should explain why I say that Kansas City is my American League team, even though I'm a diehard Cubs fan. You might be going, why? What? How? How are you both? Well, it's very simple. I went to school in a small college in southern Indiana, Vincennes University. In that small school, they did not show a lot of Cubs games because WGN, while it reached down there, was not as prominent on the cable networks as Fox Sports Midwest. So, for that being said, they showed a lot of two teams, either the St. Louis Cardinals or the Kansas City Royals. And me being a Cubs fan, I could not, in good faith, root for those drafted Redbirds. And I liked what Kansas City was building. Like, I saw what they were doing in 2013, and I liked what they were doing. They were just a couple pieces away, and they were able to get those pieces in 14. And then, obviously, to continue that in 15 was awesome. Down the left field line. So, that is how I am both a Cubs and Royals fan. Now, with the Royals gone back to being mediocre, and that's sad because they are a small market team. I still follow them. I don't listen to... and that's the other thing, too. They play roughly at the same time, so... as the Cubs, so... I love listening to radio broadcasters. I do. Not only me being one myself, but just the fact that I studied broadcasting in school. And they have to do so much other descriptors. They have to use so many other descriptors instead of just having a picture to show you is, and the good ones. Hold on 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. Muffins out of the ballpark here, whatever the heck they call this. I've known it as Candlestick and AT&T Park. I don't know what it's called now.
Well, baseball is a game of streaks and runs, so 4 games it happens to even the best of teams.
But for me to do that, I loved broadcasting, and I like listening to good broadcasters. And Pat Hughes. If you have not listened to a radio broadcast of the Chicago Cubs by that man, you're missing one of the best. And that's not just me being a Cubs fan. He is well acclaimed throughout the course of the league of being, while yes, he knows where his bread is buttered, he still gets into it whether his team's winning or losing. He keeps you into the game regardless of who you're rooting for, and that is huge as a broadcaster. That is what you need to do as a broadcaster, is know where you're getting your money. So he knows he's being paid by the Cubs, but at the same time, he's not a homer. And like every other team is poo-poo, and his team's God. He admits when a player is struggling. He admits when, like I think and I mean, it's just so hard to pick out just a few things. And he does so well because that is who I try to follow, is him on the for basketball or for baseball. Bob Lamey was another one. Now he was more of the he's the homer, so like, but he's still like he was still so knowledgeable, and that is so big in the industry, is to be so knowledgeable about the opponent. And both Bob Lamey did it really, really well. Homer as he may have been for the Colts, Pat Hughes does it so well for the Cubs. And his TV counterpart, Len Casper, if I could just sit in a meeting of those two and just pick their brains for half an hour, I would. I would love to just sit down with Pat Hughes and Len Casper and just ask them, like, what do you do when you have to... Now, their job is a little bit more different than mine because I got to remember different rosters on a week-to-week basis. And I only have that, but they kind of have that too. Now, granted, in the major league profession, rosters don't change that much, so sometimes they don't change that much. Now, there's obviously times when, a team blows up everything and they're forced to rebuild, and it's a new roster, but you still have those guys that on a year-to-year basis. So, but like I said, and I wouldn't. And it's not that I haven't heard the Kansas City's broadcaster, because I have. And the time that I've heard him, he's really good too. Like, I just can't remember his name off the top of my head, and I apologize, because that is like one of the worst things to do. Like, if you're just scrolling through and you know that the guy is good, but you can't remember his name, that irks me. So I'll look that up here after the stream. But yeah, I would to be able to sit down with some of the best broadcasters in the world, in my opinion, and to be able to sit and just ask them, like, how do you better yourselves knowing that your team might go onto a slider? How do you keep people into a game when either you're blowing a team out or you're getting blown out? How do you keep them into it so they don't turn the dial off? Those are some of the things that I would really want to know from the guys who have been doing it for as long as they have. So, if anyone knows how to get in touch with them, I would love. And I know what, there are some, like, some of the people I work with are very good about doing that too. Like, they're able to keep people into it regardless of the way everything is heading. It's not a knock against them. Trust me. It's just, and I'm sure some of my colleagues would have their broadcasters. Like it is. Like I know. And I'll admit it too. Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker is iconic. He is iconic. Now, again, I don't listen to Uecker as much as I probably should, so I won't say if he's a homer or not. Just because they're on the rival team, you know. But the games that I listen to, like, I listened to a couple of games of the Brewers and the Pirates. Uecker was, I would go to them first because of Uecker. And that iconic voice of his. He has that kind of voice. Let's see who else is like really good on the major league level. Of course, I could just ask a friend of mine's dad. He's the voice of the Pacers, so I could ask him that. Like, but could ask a friend of mine. He's with the Pacers, so. But and that's now a knock on those two because they are really, really good. Somewhere where I hope to be here. But I guess I feel weird because, you know, I went to school with one of them. So it's like I know him as my friend. And why is the first baseman wearing a catcher's mask? And not as what his job title is. And the same thing goes with I see the guy as the not as the voice of the Pacers, but as my friend's dad. Like, that's how I see him. I even told him, I'm like, I've recognized you as my friend's dad, not as this local celebrity, because that's who you are to me. Now, that should make it easier for me to go to him, but at the same time, I don't know, it just seems weird to do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Come on. I hate hitting in the Coliseum. Obviously, because I went 1 for 5 and I'm 1 for 2 here. Now the hit streak is still alive. And that's going to get down. Yes, all the way to the wall. Triple. But I don't know. Like I said, I might be overthinking. But he's television. Like, that's different. To me, it's a little bit different. To an extent, it's different. I mean, like, I'm not saying that his job is easier. No, I respect all the broadcasters. That's what I mean, liking it. So yes, I would want to sit down with him. Like, as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that sounded really bad that I was saying like Link Gasper can keep his attention. No, my friend's dad can too. I'm not big in the NBA. That's my thing. So, but when it comes to basketball season, yeah, that's who I would go to. Stephen Piscotty. All right, 2 for 3 here, going up against the lefty. Base hit, 3 for 4. Oh. Going 1 for 5 and now 3 for 4 in this 2-0 game.
Digging in. 2 for 3 thus far. 0-2, here it comes. Swung on and missed, and that's the final out of the inning.
2-1, bottom of the 8th, full count, runner on second with 2 outs. Greg Holland looking to... Now that's a player that's had a bounce around career. Because he was really good for these Royals. Got his money. And then had a couple bad years. And now he's back with the Royals. And again, that's not a knock on him because, or not a knock on the Royals, but a rebuilding team is not where you want to go. At times, like if you're a young player like Sean is here, that's exactly where you want to be because you'll get playing time and you'll be able to help them out so much more than if you were on a playoff contender and playing it every 5 days or so as a position player. Which gets me really irritated that Sean is at a 75 right now. And Conrad's at a 73, yet for those of you that don't know, Conrad Gregor is the Kansas City Royals pitcher that I have over on, as my voice cracks, on over on Twitch. He's at a 73 overall. But he's still in the minor leagues as a pitcher. But Sean Spencer's here as a left fielder. He's in the majors. And he skipped AAA altogether. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't deserve to get called up to AAA or get called up to the majors because he's really made his mark here, hitting 500. As you see, 500, 61 RBIs, 26 home runs, 90 hits. And we're in September. Like, so yeah, he's fallen off a little bit, maybe? I don't know. It's so fitting, though. And I'll tell you this, like, for those of you that were on the last time I was here, we introduced Zach Martin. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of a transition. Hello, Tommy LaStella. We introduced Zach Martin, and so The last time you saw Zach Martin, he was with the Detroit Tigers. You will not see him in a Detroit Tigers uniform here. For two reasons. One, I don't hate Detroit, but... Oh, hold on one second. Boom, boom, boom. Muffins. As that one is long gone. I did that more of a... Because I was able to pick where Cody went, I did not want to pick where Zach went. Because, if you remember, I picked Cody for a very specific reason to go to Boston. Which was to stay close to his girlfriend, Haley. And, while she was at Yale. Well, Zach's girlfriend in the show was Maya, and she was a Yankees fan. So a little part of me was to try to get him to go to the Yankees as a pitcher, and that's part of the reason why I picked him as a pitcher, because I was trying to think, what do the Yankees really need? They don't need a lot, to be honest with you, but they could have used a pitcher. In the bullpen, they could have used a bullpen pitcher. So that's why he's there. The fact that he gets to go against his brother every chance that he gets is just icing on the cake. But that's why he was the pitcher. That being said, the fact that he was with Detroit, it wasn't like that I hated Detroit. It was just the fact that I wanted him to be a Yankee. So I resetted him a couple different times. The closest I could have gotten to the Yankees is the team that he's on now. And it's ironic because he was drafted by the Angels. So when we finish up this series against Anaheim, that's where we're going to be going, is Anaheim. And their Double-A farm club, to see how long it takes for him, Zach, to be called up to the majors. Again, Cody just found his agent, so he's probably going to get the call to AAA here relatively soon. Again, that's over on Twitch. So if you want to see that, go to Twitch TV/Circle City Gamer. I'm going to type it here in the chat, and I will put it in the description.
Some might say a walk there is okay because you've got first base open, but he's been struggling out there. And if you're going to work around hitters, you don't want to work around hitters in the bottom of the lineup.
And up steps Salvador Perez. He's off to a fast start in this one, 2 for 2, including a home run. Now pickoff play at second. The tag, and he is...
Damn it. I hate when I get picked off like that. So there it is in the chat. Go follow me over there for Cody Martin and Conrad Gregor. Because like I said, Conrad's at a 73, and he is still in AAA. Granted, he's as a pitcher, because, excuse me, Conrad in real life is a position player, so I wanted to do something a little bit different for that. And I thought pitcher would be fun. It's not been very fun. He is still 2 years. He's in 2022 in July of 20. So he's almost exactly 2. He's a little over 2 years in the future. And he's still in AAA. Which it's not a knock on him. He got hurt for a substantial amount of time in 2021. Then he tried to rush it and he was just never the same. So he never got called up. I would have thought that they would have invited him to spring training, however, and they did not. So I was a little miffed there. Because I think if he gets a chance in spring training, he might earn a spot in the rotation. So that's just my own opinion. As we hit another bomb. Oh, excuse me. Wow. Okay. I've been playing the position player for 45 minutes. Didn't realize that. Cool. So I'll do one series. I'll do one series with Zach because I am getting tired. I don't know. Don't know why I'm getting tired, but no, I'll do the 3 that I promised because as the pitcher, he'll only 3 series is like an inning apiece, and if he does his job well, then he's in and he's out relatively quickly. So those games will move relatively quickly. It's not like he's playing every single inning. It didn't help that this game in particular right now drug on for a while with 15 runs. That's going to do it. How many more games do I have?
This one ends with a 10-5 score.
As we enter, I think, game 2. See, that game just dragged on for so long. I think this is only game 2 of a 3-game set, so that's hard single to Mike Trout.
Sometimes the first pitch is the best pitch you see all that bat. Definitely coming out of his shoes. Aggressive style. First pitch, base hit up the middle.
Got him swinging.
Swung on a miss, and that's how the inning ends. But here we are. I mean, we went 5 for 5 in that last game. So. And that is boom, boom, boom. Muffins. Home run. 7 for 7 to start our road trip here in Anaheim. I don't know why they changed their name, to be honest with you. Probably just to grab the Los Angeles the Los Angeles market, but they had their own nice little niche in the Anaheim Angels. Like, nothing changed. Their colors didn't change. Their logo didn't change. Literally, they just added LA to their name. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Or would you rather be known as the Anaheim Angels? That's just little nitpicky things to me. Like, and I know I'm being nitpicky too because people know them probably not even as the Anaheim Angels. They know them as the California Angels. So they were like, well, you should be happy that blah, blah, blah. But to be fair, when they switched to Anaheim, they changed their color scheme and they changed their logo quite drastically compared to what it was as the California Angels, I believe. I could be wrong. It's very, very possible I am. As I got finally getting put out there. Hey, look, I know that manager. And we'll play one more. Let's go ahead and finish out this series like I promised. About 45 minutes playing this. Wow. I didn't realize that it went that fast.
Coming to the plate now, Sean Spencer. And he could give his guys an early lead if he can come through here. Let's go right here. First offering on its way. It's a high fly.
So that one is fouled.
If it stays fair, it's gone. But it bends just foul into the second deck.
Oh, it's just popped straight up. So, after starting 7 for 7, he has gone 0 for 2. And we see Mike Montgomery for the second time in this stream.
Skied in the air to straightaway left. Left fielder is on the move. He makes the catch. A great effort to get there and record the first out of the inning. Now in the box.
And I'm not mad at Mike Montgomery at all. Like, I'm happy that he's getting a chance to start
This season really shouldn't come as a surprise to many. We all
for the Royals.
Well, the left fielder's on it, and that
But it was just the way that he left Chicago to me.
Angels are gone in order. Still no score.
That was... He obviously said something that pissed off Theo. Or Jed, or hell, even Joe. Because he wanted to be a starter so bad that he was kind of offended to be in the bullpen. And I'm not saying that he wasn't wrong to an extent, because he might have been. But he was struggling in the pen at times, so why would we, a team that was still is competing for a World Series, throw out someone who had never been stretched out to be a starter? Well, I shouldn't say that, because he has been, in some instances, he was stretched out. And he did all right as a starter. Like, he gave up 3 or 4 runs, but he went 6 or 7 innings. So, it's a give and take thing there. But that rotation was also kind of stacked. Like,
on the second, but he's
Now, granted, these are still pitchers that are still active, so I'm not gonna like bash them, but you have in that rotation over there in Chicago last year, you had John Lester, Kyle Hendricks, Yu Darvish, Cole Hamels, and then Jose Quintana. That was the starting rotation. Now, Jose Quintana is like the only wild card. Well, you was a wild card too, but I think he was hurt last time, or in 2018 he was hurt. So I give him a pass. 2019, excuse me, he really turned it on, and he was able to flip that switch and become not the Texas Rangers Yu Darvish that everybody knew, but he was starting to go back into that type of mindset, and that was really good to see. And Matt Montgomery was always the one that came out there if one of those guys got passed around a little bit. But you can't really rely on that. Or if someone got hurt, he was one of the guys. Now, boom, 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 muffins. Now, you also had Tyler Chatwood, which, oh boy, don't get me started on 2018 Tyler Chatwood, because he was garbage. I'm sorry, he was garbage.
Even when you're at home to score 3 runs off a closer like this guy, they've got the
2018 Tyler Chatwood as a starter was absolutely trash. Garbage. And I think he knows it. But he took that move to the bullpen in stride, and he worked to get himself better. And he was a very good piece of that bullpen in 2019 when he accepted that he was a bullpen arm. I think that's great for him. Now, can he be a starter again? Yes, he can. Because when he was called on to be a starter for Joe Madden when somebody got hurt, he stepped up and he was able to do that when needed, but he also knew that that was not going to be a long-time thing. So he was a very good bullpen arm that could be used as a starter in spot situations. And I respect him for understanding that. As we now finally move into the pitcher portion of everything. And Zach Martin's road to the show. I will go ahead and stop here and show him off a little bit. Comparison. Let's see who he's compared to. Oh, yeah, comparing him to himself. B, C. But he's with the Trash Pandas at the moment. Appearance. Okay. Here you go. Here is Zach Martin. He's 6'2". He wears number 31 to honor some of the greats in the Boston Red Sox history. He throws right, bats right, but that's never going to be a problem here. Physical appearance, as you see, he has the longer hair, the blue eyes, all that stuff that Cody Martin has as well. I am doing something a little bit different with him because he is kind of a wild card type pitcher. Like I said, if you saw him get drafted to the Detroit Tigers, you saw that he's using that Ryan Dempster stuff, and he's still using that. So that I didn't change it that much, but if you never saw it, you'll see it here very shortly. Equipment-wise, he is still studded up with the best that I have. Let's go ahead and jump into the first game here, where we have a 2-run lead The Rocket City Trash Pandas against the Binghamton Barons. So, they get... First game is against the Chicago White Sox, AA affiliate. Oh, one other thing that I did was I changed his third pitch to a Vulcan change. I don't think that I had... Oh, no, I did have that as... His pitches haven't changed. The only thing that changed was where I put the 12-6 as the 2 instead of the 3, and the Vulcan change as that 3. So he's going to rely mostly on the change-up, that Vulcan change, and the 12-6 curve, while at the same time trying to blow something past you, if he can. But let's go ahead. His first professional appearance with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And he starts out with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. I'll take that miss, to be honest with you. That fastball's hit well, but way foul, and gets us back ahead in the count. And got that swing and a miss, and the throw over for the first professional strikeout on Zach Martin's career.
Striding forward now is the DH, Dan McTownship. He got on top of one and was a ground-out victim last time.
And immediately gets out number 2 on a grounder to the first baseman.
Stepping up now, Evan Skov. He flew out in his last at-bat. In there, strike 1. 2 out, nobody on. 2 now as a curveball drops in there for a strike.
And he gets 2 strikeouts. Wow, okay. So, quick inning of work there, and he's actually going to pitch in the 8th. So, he did so well that he's getting a multiple inning setup role to get to the closer here. Swing and a miss for 3. And he is just on top of it right now. I actually don't mind this Trash Pandas uniform.
As a pitcher, you've got to be hunting for the strikeout, knowing you have this guy way off balance.
Next 0-2. Got him.
Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts now. That 12-6 curve.
You do that, and everything's going to be fine. And that strikeout, he never threw the same pitch twice in a row.
Oh, come on. You gave me no cheese for the first inning and a half. And now you throw that at me. Wow. Okay.
I'll tell you, if I'm pitching right now, I'm not throwing anything near the strike zone until
that one's flied. 6 up, 6 down for Mr. Martin. Will he go to the 9th? No. But that was a very strong start for Zach. As you get to see how the Angels are planning on using him. What's the situation here? Now we moved into the closing role. up 3-2. Again, it's still against Binghamton and the Barons. But now as a closer. Again, we really got to rely on this 12-6 curve. Last two are going to be the Vulcan. Last three are, or I'll do 2 Vulcan change. And then a fastball to end it when it comes to our warm-up pitches. Alright, now let's see what we can't do here in day 2. Get started off with a good 92-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 1. Misses just a little bit. Okay, I'll take it though. Oh, okay. That fastball's hammered foul. So let's go here. That curveball's hammered. Right fielder is there though, makes the catch for the first out in the 9th. Got just on top of that 12-6 curve. Oops, I think that's what I wanted again. Fastball still in for strike 2. (12-6) bounces in the dirt for ball 1. Nice call. Vulcan change, strike 3 call. Oh, excuse me. That one was a bad one. Fans on their feet in a one-run ball game in the last of the ninth. That one's popped up to the catcher, who's right underneath it, and Zach Martin just got his first professional save for the Rocket City Trash Pandas. So that's a good way to start the first series. 16 pitches in the first inning, or in the first outing, and 12 in the second. But he was dominant with 4 strikeouts in the first outing and 1 here in the second. So he has 1 save and 5 strikeouts as we get ready to face the Mississippi Braves. And then end it with the Chattanooga Lookouts. Well, I might only do 2 just because how late it is getting in. Again, I do have work early in the morning. Let's just see how they have me work here. Alright, we have, in our first home game, a safe situation here for Zach against these Braves. Once again, Zach Martin pitched very well against the Binghamton Barons. Let's see what he can do in his home stadium. And again, really working on that 12-6 curve and the Vulcan change. That's a good call. That's a good pitch. If that's called a ball, okay, but that's perfectly placed, in my opinion. So, and that's not just because of that I'm controlling the guy, but as we get ready here.
Now at the plate, Braden Shoemaker, and his guys need him to get things started here in the top half of the ninth. First delivery to him on the way.
That 12-6 curve misses low for ball 1.
Now 1-0. In the air to straightaway right.
Batter gets a good look at that, sends it far to the right fielder, but he makes the catch for the first out. Okay.
Riding in once again, Tyler Neslony. He got on top of one. That picked them last time. And a fastball down low as that one just about got away from him.
Most good pitchers know that they have to work inside, and sometimes
As we get
off the plate to keep hitters
even there, back into the count at 1. Lose him a little bit there. Count goes to 1-2 or 2-1. He hits that one very far, but foul. That one's middle, and the left fielder cannot grab it. So Zach has given up his first professional hit, and it's a triple. So now there's runner on third. 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Looking for a strikeout here. Not a strikeout. It's going to tie the game. First blown save for Martin. And the ERA will go up. Obviously. But let's just get to the 10th here. Vulcan change just misses a little high. Gets back into the count at 1-1. Whoa! That slipped a little bit in that 12-6 curve. Now puts the runner on first. That ball's hit well, and they're going to play it off the wall. Are you shitting me? Oh, let's just get out of this and then call it a night, because obviously Tired has gone with me here, and
tonight's final 7-3. The Braves capitalized on a huge 9th inning.
I appreciate everybody who's come out here tonight. Sorry this couldn't have ended on a better note. Zach Martin will continue to work here on YouTube specifically. Until then, I will see you all next time. Bye!